Okay, so the scenario is that Cooper Toy Company has designed a new toy that uses a spring and follows a sinusoidal curve after you wind it up and start it. What this word sinusoidal means is just it follows a sine or a cosine curve. It just has the general shape. And you can pick either function to model it. And at t equals 5 seconds, the toy is at its highest point, 18 centimeters above the ground, and 4 seconds later it's at its lowest point, 6 centimeters above the ground. So in order to find an equation that's going to determine the height, the first thing that you'll want to do is just draw a general sketch of what is going on. So we know that it's going to be a sine or cosine curve. It'll look something like that. And at 5 seconds, it's at its highest point. So the independent variable is time, so that's 5. The dependent variable is its height, would be 18. And then 4 seconds later, it's at the lowest point. So 4 seconds after 5 seconds would be at 9 seconds. And then the height is 6 centimeters above the ground. If you're going to try to find an equation, you want to start by identifying all of your key features. Amplitude is the distance from the middle to the top or the middle to the bottom. So the entire vertical distance, if you look at the y values, is 12 centimeters. So if we half that, that'll give us the amplitude, which is 6. We also need to get the period to help us find the b value. The period is how long it takes to complete one full cycle. So from top to bottom, it takes 4 seconds. So that means the entire cycle from top to top or bottom to bottom would take 8 seconds. To get the b value, you do 2 pi over your period, so 2 pi over 8, which would reduce to pi over 4. The other thing we'll need is the midline. The midline, you can get a couple of ways. One is to add the amplitude to the bottom, so 6 plus 6 would give you 12. Take away the amplitude from the top, 18 minus 6 would give you 12. Or you can do the average of your top and your bottom. 18 and 6 is 24, divide that by 2, and you would get 12 for the midline. Then you set up your equation. You can use h and t if you want, or y and x if you want. So the amplitude is the vertical stretch, it goes out front. I would suggest using cosine, because cosine starts at the top. And then do parentheses, the b value. Next set of parentheses would include your horizontal shift. Since cosine starts at the top, you'd have to shift your parent graph to the right 5. And then when you're identifying vertical shift, what I would do is just use the midline. Don't use the max or the min, because these values are affected by both vertical shifts and vertical stretches. The midline is only affected by a vertical shift. Note that this isn't the only possible equation. You could have also used this bottom point for your horizontal shift. The only difference is if you chose that, you'd have to flip your cosine graph because it is starting at the bottom.